It's a 53-man roster projection day on the PHLY Eagles podcast. We've got the king of the beats going up against last year's champion. Coming up next. Hello, everybody! Live from the Xfinity studio. It's the PHLY Eagles podcast. Bo Wulf, EJ Smith. We are presented by Xfinity, Doodad Dental, and True Mark Financial Credit Union. A lot of love for the PHLY show today. EJ, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, this reminds me of my favorite sci-fi book series, A Clash of Kings.
Okay.
Part of the Game of Thrones lineage. And
I see.
Feel like this is going to be a little bit of a clash of kings.
You're
I want to make sure I
killed off right
that out. I want to make sure I say kings here.
Yeah.
You know, we can both be king of the beats.
No. It's not. That's not how it works.
Well, then I
you
think
luck into one. Anybody can luck into one.
We'll see.
You got to prove something to get the crown.
Yeah, this is getting me fired up. You know,
okay,
it's
a lot on the
line now.
We will get into that. We will do our current 53-man roster projections as things stand ahead of tomorrow's beginning of 2 joint practices with the Cleveland Browns. That'll be a lot of fun. Today was a relatively light practice, but we will get into the things that were notable about that, EJ, and we'll talk about your elevator escapades by the end of the show because that was fascinating.
Listen. If we're
we'll
gonna
get there,
if we're gonna talk about that, we have to talk about something else too.
Okay, let's start with today's practice. They were just in shells, essentially. Very hot out there, but it was a quick practice. Obviously, they are getting ready for the main event of the summer, which is the next 2 days. But what were the big takeaways that you saw out there today?
Well, I think you have to start with the left guard situation. Landon Dickerson is week to week with the meniscus injury. You called it yesterday, actually, that Brett Toth was with the starters at left guard in place of Dickerson, and then. Interestingly enough, Kinnard.
This was fascinating, and I think this is the most interesting thing.
Yeah, so he spent all training camp on the right. He has either played right guard or right tackle.
Yes.
He moved to left guard today with the second team to replace Brett Toth in that second team slot. So whether that means that they kind of want to see both of those guys, I don't know. I think we can kind of read into that a little however we want, but I do think that the fact that he moved there is definitely interesting.
I think it's really telling, and just the way that they do things, it makes sense. Like Toth has been practicing there. You're going to give Toth the first crack. I would not be surprised if we see Darius Kinnard get some first team reps at left guard over the next couple days to the point where, if Landon Dickerson doesn't start week 1, I might say that Kinnard is now the favorite. Maybe that's too strong. I would probably still go Toth, but it's very interesting. Now, we haven't talked since the news of the timeline on Dickerson came down. I know that you did some reporting there. So what's your understanding?
Yeah, the sense I get is that they do hope that he will be back in time for the start of the regular season. I feel like Landon Dickerson's toughness is sort of informing this evaluation. He has a tendency to play through a lot of pain. He has, obviously the end of last season, he played through a left knee injury. So, I think if he can play, he will play. I feel like it might be a little optimistic because of that, assumption that he will be able to play through a lot of pain. So I think maybe week 1, I don't know. Again, the sense I get is they're hopeful that it'll be there, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on that one.
And I also, listen, this is a long season they're about to embark on. I don't know enough about the injury.
Yeah.
But if there's a chance, like if he comes back too early and he's going to be 70% of himself and putting his longevity this season more at risk, it would be better if he took 3 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's one thing that's going to be really interesting to watch once he's back is even though he does play through a lot of injuries and he usually looks pretty much himself when he is limited, how limited is he going to be? Because if this is the type of thing, again, I don't know this, it's kind of I wonder if it's the type of thing where he's putting off really addressing this until after the season, or maybe
it seems to be the case.
Yeah, right. So if that's the case, then how does he look until he gets it actually
Yeah.
fixed? So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big question. But yeah, in the meantime, it'll be interesting to see what their contingency plan is, because there's every chance, like, if he is going to play through this, that there are going to be times, we've seen this with Landon before, where there's like a series where he kind of needs,
For sure.
yeah, he comes off and you need to have somebody. So that
Yeah.
left guard spot and that backup center spot are now a lot more in the, in focus than they usually would be.
All right, so let's talk Toth. I think there are reasons to be skeptical that he's going to make the roster, because this is exactly what happened last summer. He was getting all the reps as the second team center. Everybody's writing their breath Toth stories, and then he doesn't make the team because Howie Roseman knows that he can probably get him through waivers and keep him around on the practice squad, and then by the end of the season, he's on the active roster and he's active for the Super Bowl. I actually believe it more this summer than I did last summer, and I know I was flirting with Kinnard there earlier, but I don't think that it is insane that Jeff Stoutland would have the most faith in Brett Toth to be the short-term starting left guard.
Yeah, it's funny because this kind of reminds me of how we've talked about Tyler Steen before, just in that, like, Jeff Stoutland's evaluation of these guys, sometimes like who he has in there speaks more to, the truth about the player than what we see, because he sees so much more of these guys. And Brett Toth is the perfect example of that. We have not seen very much of him. When I said it on the show yesterday, he just hasn't played a lot of football.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to know exactly what they're getting into. But you're right, Stoutland has a much better idea, and he went on him with the first team today. So I think that is maybe a flimsy vote of confidence. Something like, I think we're just going to have to keep an eye on him the next couple of days and see how he looks in that setting. He didn't really stand out to me in a good or a bad way today. I don't know about you. But yeah, in general, I just think the fact that Stoutland has kept him around as long as he has, and again, the fact that he's been with the first team, not just even today, like dating back to last week, last weekend, even when Landon Dickerson missed time, the fact that he has been working in so much with the first team probably speaks to Jeff Stoutland's faith in him.
And I think I would speculate that maybe Stout and Howie have a difference of opinion on,
I could see that.
Who they want to get the shot there.
Howie probably wishes Green was in the lineup.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I also think that Howie knows to trust Stout.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. So.
But yeah, so that's interesting with Toth. And then Kinnard, the fact that he's moved over day one here post injury for Dickerson, I think is very interesting.
Yeah, and I also think we talked yesterday.
Interesting that was him, not prior.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's interesting that we talked yesterday about this possibility that there isn't a de facto swing tackle, and if there's a possibility for Pryor, Kinnard, and who's the third I'm missing now?
Kendall Lamb.
Yeah, Kendall Lamb. Having all three of those guys on the roster, I think the fact that Kinnard has now got both guard spots, in his arsenal, it definitely does change some of the ways I look at the roster, for sure.
Yes, I think it actually has made me flip on whether Pryor or Kinnard is the top game day backup.
Yeah.
And it makes me think it's Kinnard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because he's just got that versatility.
Interesting. Okay. What else was interesting to you from practice today?
I felt like Jalen Hurts had a 4-play sequence that was better than anything we've seen all summer.
Really?
Yeah. It was 4 plays, 4 passes, 4 completions, 2 of which were, and each of them required like such perfect ball placement that it really stood out to me. So I'm going to try to get the sequence correct here. It was a dig route to Devontae Smith where he threw it low, and Devontae had to go down to get it, but it was one of those where only Devontae could get to that ball because it was tight coverage. It was in a tight window. The next one, I believe, was a scramble drill to Dallas Goedert. So he's rolling out to his right. His right. No, it was rolling out to his right. You don't think so?
I believe you.
Yeah, rolling out to his right. And it was the type of thing where Quinyon Mitchell was covering Dallas Goedert, and Quinyon was in tight coverage, but he threw it to the opposite shoulder where only Dallas Goedert could get it. The next play was an out route to Devontae Smith. Interestingly enough, did you notice who Devontae Smith was lined up across?
That's what I was my number one takeaway here.
Okay, all right. Yes. So I found it very interesting that Mac McWilliams was the outside cornerback against Devontae Smith.
With the ones.
With the starters, yes. No, but not, I mean, it was a fine rep for Mac McWilliams too. He was in good coverage.
Tight coverage, yeah.
Yeah, it was a deep out, and they've been doing a lot of these this training camp. There have been a lot of these deep outs, timing-based deep outs where it's got to be on a line and to a spot before the guy gets out of his break. He's had a lot of them to Jhon Dotson. More on that in a second. But he had the pass to.
Don't call me a moron.
I do talk kind of fast. I do talk kind of fast. So yes, to Devontae Smith on the deep out, against Mac McWilliams. They went right back to Mac McWilliams on the next
I
play.
know.
This time it's Jhon Dotson. Same exact result. Not as deep of a completion in the last one, but still, four plays, just like each of them required really good timing and accuracy, putting the ball exactly where only his guy could get it. I think it was. I think it was his best stretch of the summer.
I believe you. I don't have a strong take on whether it was his best foreplay sequence, but he looked good.
Foreplay sequence. Interesting.
Now we're talking. HE. All right. Yeah, I mean, you watch those 4 plays in a row, that'll get you going. Preheat the oven. The Mac McWilliams thing, very interesting.
Yeah.
And as we continue to figure out like who's going to be the starter on the outside, you know what? Let's see what it looks like on the outside with the ones, says Vic Fangio.
Yeah, and this is starting to feel. Correct me if you disagree. I want to hear it, but I feel like this is starting to seem more like that linebacker situation from last year, where like the week 1 starting cornerback is going to be completely out of left field.
Oh, I think that's very possible.
Yeah, I think, and we'll talk probably about this when we're doing the 53-man roster. I feel like we might have a Devin White situation by the end of the summer.
I think that's very possible. And as Fran alluded to yesterday, it does make me feel like maybe Adoree Jackson is not going to make this team. The fact that they keep throwing guys over there.
I'm going to play coy on that one.
Okay. We'll get there. But yeah, I mean, listen, if Mac McWilliams can do that job, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But it would be a surprise.
He wasn't the only rookie with the starting defense.
Yes.
That was the other takeaway I had, was that Andrew Makuba got some run with the first team.
Yes.
And he is, it
from
seems
the
like,
first play on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like he's really starting to get some run as that dime defensive back.
Yes.
And he talked about after practice about how that's not something he did much in college. It's something that he's had to adjust to, but that he's getting more comfortable with it. And honestly, like, I think he makes a lot of sense for that job because of the versatility that he showed in college.
Yeah, I mean, he played nickel, right?
Yeah, so he's played nickel and safety, but he hasn't played like that extra defensive back job. And I think he was talking about how there's like blitzing responsibilities that you don't necessarily have from those other spots. And I mean, you're sort of like a de facto box player at times with that job. So I'm sure there is an adjustment period for it, especially he's a smaller guy. I mean, it stands out when you're near him. Like at his scrum today, it's like
slight.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like Sidney Brown is probably the same height as him. But like when you're sitting, when I'm standing next to Sidney Brown, I'm like, you're a big
this
guy.
is a professional athlete.
Exactly. Yeah. Andrew Makuba or Drew Makuba, he just looks like a regular guy out there. Well, even in a scrum, he kind of like blends in a little bit. So it's just interesting because his play style and his play personality do not fit that flight frame. Yeah.
Interesting. He will be one of the guys to really watch over the next couple of days.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
We have a couple super chats to get to. We've got Michael Wirtz, who says, the sense of relief about Dickerson's prognosis is similar to the sense of relief I felt when I heard the news about EJ joining the show. Congrats, EJ.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
CDP. EJ, does listening to audiobooks count as reading?
No, probably not, right? I mean, it's like you're consuming a book, but you're not reading. I would count it as like consuming a book. It's not. Reading is the act of like reading something.
Yeah.
You know?
But
this really makes
if you consumed an audiobook, would you say like
I read that book?
Yeah, would you say you read that book? I think I probably would.
Yeah, I think you say you read that book, but if somebody asks you what you did in the car, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, I did some reading." No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, tough middle ground.
Maybe you wouldn't say you read the book. Maybe you'd say I listened to that audiobook.
Yeah, but I think my silly my nonsense take here is that you can say you read it in the past tense, but it's not an active.
Yeah, you're not actively reading it.
Yeah.
I think you say I listened to that audiobook. Now maybe if like you're around some people you don't really
But I think if it's if it's like your goal is to read like 10 books this year or whatever, like I think that counts.
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
I feel like reading, if your goal is to read 10 books,
I think the audiobook counts.
It's gray area. Gray area.
I don't know. What do you think, Julia?
I feel like you've consumed the contents of the book, but like
you didn't read it.
You didn't read it.
Yeah.
Literally, you didn't literally read it.
There's nothing wrong with
No.
Yeah.
You still have knowledge of the book.
Like you don't have to read every book.
I don't know. I mean, people are doing the best they can. They want to say they read with an audiobook. I think that's
but
okay.
like at that point, like, why do you feel like you have to specify that you read it? Like, why are you trying to like sound like you did something you didn't? You know, you don't need to show off if you listen to the audiobook. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, but I think if you're like these are the books I read this year, I would count an audiobook.
Okay, I'm okay with that descriptor. The books I read this year. The books I consumed this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then it sounds like you ate the book.
Yeah. I mean, never. Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay. Let's take a little break. Come back, and we'll get into our 53-man roster projections. Real matchup of world beaters here between EJ and Bo. Guess what? Went out to the bar last night after softball. Got the W. That was nice. Hey, a big group, everybody's you got to split the bill. One person's going to pay. How do we pay this person? What we should have done. Should have used Cash App, because Cash App is the app for you to use when you use code CASH, PHLY. Cash App does more than you think when it comes to having your back and making sure that your money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. If you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees. Manage your money or on your terms and take advantage of free overdraft coverage of up to $200 on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash for real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, CASH, PHLY, all one word, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
Next, we're going to talk about our friends at Bet365, which pioneered live in-game betting and has 90 million users worldwide. Bet365 live streams 780,000 events each year and offers the widest range of games, markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports each year, with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get that $150 in bonus bets. Again, that's win or lose. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. We've also got breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We've also got the Dudat Dental Bright Smile sweepstakes going on. We do this every week. Go to allphly.com/Dudat Dental Group to enter. We're giving away a Philips teeth whitening home kit every week. And at the end of August, we're going to give away to one grand prize winner an Oral-B IO toothbrush, top of the line tech for your teeth. Head to allphly.com/Dudat Dental Group. And while I have your attention, let me remind you that now is a great time to become a diehard so you can read EJ and Kyle and Derek and Charlie. $36 training camp special. Let's call it a joint practice special. Why not? Yeah. Great stuff. EJ's working on a little something. You're going to want to read. So now is a good chance to become a diehard, and then that also gets you access to the events and the merch and all that good stuff. $36. You're not going to get a better deal. How do we feel about EJ's first ad read, everybody? Chat was very excited.
I appreciate that. I'll give myself like a B+. I
think it was good. Yeah.
We'll get there.
A nice flash up here from Julia with the Durantula shirt. I think you're going to order yourself one of those bad boys.
I'm a big Duran guy. He really kind of I'm gonna just put it this way. He brought some life into that Phillies team, in my opinion. You know, a little
some different energy to the team.
Different energy to the Phillies, that Phillies roster that needed just a little bit of different energy.
It's a bit of a reversal of the practice playlist, you might say.
yeah. I'm a fan.
Sorely needed.
I'm appreciative. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's get to our 53-man roster projections here. Now, how did you go about doing this, EJ? Do you have yourself a spreadsheet?
Again, as the reigning king of the beats, I broke out the Excel spreadsheet I used last year.
Okay.
For the good juju that it brought me.
Oh, okay.
Because maybe one day I will be.
Wow, you're not following Nick Sirianni's advice.
No, this is about repeating for me. I'm not here for this no. This is about repeating for me. So maybe one day I will be the king of the beats in everybody's minds because I use the same spreadsheet.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll be president. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm qualified for that.
Okay, Jalen Hurts, do you have him on?
I don't actually. Maybe they can sneak him back on the roster in week 2.
Tanner McKee?
Yeah.
And then, did you keep a third quarterback, and if so, who? I
kept a third quarterback, and that quarterback is Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Interesting. I kept Kyle McCord. Now, we talked about this yesterday, our disagreement here. I don't disagree that Thompson Robinson's been better. I just think it's more likely if they're gonna stash a third quarterback, it's gonna be the guy that they invested in and get 4 years of control for.
I could see them doing that. I would think it would be the wrong decision. I could see a world where they talk about Tanner McKee, and the development track that he was on and what they eventually, the value that they eventually have in him. And I think that they're wrong because Tanner McKee looked really good his rookie year and Kyle McCord is not.
I mean, only some people noticed it earlier in that rookie year, but
yeah, some of us with the discerning eye. I'll give you credit on that one.
All right, running back. Saquon and Will Shipley, no doubt on, right?
Yep.
Do you have A.J. Dillon on?
I do not have A.J. Dillon on.
Really?
I think he is a perfect bring him back after week 1 on a non-guaranteed salary. I mean, he was just on the market. I guess you could say he proved that he was healthy, and maybe that would, generate intrigue from elsewhere. Does he really provide you that much value when you look at other spots on the roster? I do have Ben Van Sumeren on.
Okay.
And I sort of looked at that spot. I know that Fran talked about the similarities between Ben Van Sumeren and the tight end room and maybe borrowing from that room. I decided to borrow from the running back room and keep Ben Van Sumeren over A.J. Dillon.
Okay, I went the opposite way. I kept A.J. Dillon, and I'm not wedded to that. I could change my mind on that, but I feel like right now they think he's going to be enough of a part of the offense that they're going to keep him. And I just don't believe that they need to have Ben Van Sumeren on the roster.
I think that they would actually be losing something, not from the fullback perspective, but from special teams value.
Yeah, I kept somebody on defense for special teams as that spot. That is my.
All right, I'm curious to hear who that'll be because I feel like his special teams value, if he played a different position, maybe even if it was a specialist position, we were talking about the wide receiver 5 or 6 here, Ben Van Sumeren's special teams value would be a trump card there. So I feel like for that reason, I feel pretty good about his chances to make the roster.
But he's not Colt Anderson out there. He's not Brian Bremen.
Yeah, but he adds something in
he's fine.
Both areas. So
okay, disagreement there. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jhoan Dotson. We agree about that?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 6.
So do I.
Which I think we're going to be chalk here.
Do you have Johnny Wilson?
I do.
I think he's pretty safely on now.
Yep.
Do you have Ainias Smith?
Just barely, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was late for me too. I don't. Again, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I guess right now he's the punt returner.
I was going to say the punt return thing is what pushed me over the edge. I felt like if we had seen Avery Williams take that step, if we had seen any other potential return option, or if Britton Covey were still on this team, I would not put Ainias Smith over him. But I feel like he had the punt return against the Bengals.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. He had that. He had the good return there. So I felt like both of the second-year receivers to me, the preseason game was huge. Because I don't think I would have had Johnny Wilson comfortably on before the preseason game either. But yeah, I had Ainias Smith on.
Now, did you have Terrace Marshall on?
I did not. Is that who you have?
I do not have Terrace.
Okay.
Did you have Elijah Cooks on?
No, I did not.
Well, then in that case, let's get to the Shady Rays Future is Bright segment because the future might be bright for our cover man here, our thumbnail, Darius Cooper. We both have him on?
We do.
I think he's on the team.
The only scenario where he's not is they do not carry 6 receivers, and Ainias Smith's punt return value outweighs Darius Cooper's potential as a receiver.
Now, Darius Cooper got more run with the ones today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Jalen threw to him a couple times.
Yeah,
he had a drop.
He didn't have the best.
But he also had a nice catch.
Yeah.
And, the fact that he's getting thrown at from Jalen and he's getting open enough to be thrown at, I think those are all very positive signs.
Yeah, and he also is getting a lot of special teams run. Michael Clay talked about wanting to see him in those scenarios, and that he I feel like everyone who mentions Darius Cooper talks about the fact that he's like a great person too.
Yeah.
So it's
right. How does Michael Clay know this early that he's a great guy?
Yeah, Aaron Moorhead said this. Sorry, the Eagles.
At least he's in his room.
Aaron
though,
Moorhead also said something about him being like a great
Interesting.
person. So, it feels like he's winning a lot of people over, and they kind of want to give him every opportunity at this point. So,
good for him.
I struggled with more. Like, I struggled with some of these. I didn't really struggle with getting him on here.
Neither did I.
I thought I would struggle more.
I actually, this full exercise, usually I feel like it's harder to cut the last couple guys. Whereas with this particular roster, I felt like
You were sneaking.
I was
guys
at
on.
like 49, and then I'm like, okay, who do they need to keep? Who am I going to force on the roster? But Darius Cooper is a safe on the roster for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, when I was going through the 53, like, I go to the bottom and see, do I have more? Or do I have fewer than I need? And I was at like 49. It's like, I can start sneaking some.
Oh, interesting. You just got a numbered.
Yeah. Because I like to be able to visualize for what we just talked about.
Yeah.
I like to be able to visualize, like, do I have 60 guys that I think deserve to be on, or do I have fewer than that?
Yeah.
So you've got position by position.
I've got position by position. I put a 1 next to it. I got it's a little adding up. Offense, defense,
You sure
total.
you want me to see this as like somebody who's trying to dethrone me?
I have no secrets here. And so, I'm all up here.
No, I'm definitely on the spreadsheet. I'm riding the luck from the spreadsheet until that luck is gone.
It's so crude. It's so basic.
Well, and then you see I've got like guys like off to the side who like I just barely wanted to get them on there but couldn't. So
okay. Tight end. Goddard and Calcaterra.
Yep.
Who's your third?
This one was harder, a lot harder. I put EJ Jenkins on just barely over Kylan Granson.
I went Granson.
Yeah, I could honestly, like, a 15-minute conversation could probably sway me to Granson. But EJ Jenkins had a catch today, and I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna stay on the.
So
EJ
did Harrison
Jenkins.
Bryant.
I'm gonna stay in the EJ Jenkins corner for now.
Okay.
Preseason games will be big for the tight ends, in my opinion.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And yes, by the way, that will wrap the Future is Bright segment. Shout out to Darius Cooper. Future is bright for him. All right, offensive line, very interesting. You got the starting 5. Now, this is assuming that Landon Dickerson doesn't go on IR.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fair assumption at this
if they
point.
want him back for week 1, the new designated to return, is it 6 or 8 weeks?
Oh, I thought it was 4.
Oh, it's 4? I'll look it up.
And you can do 2 guys before the 53-man roster cut down. So that was a change that went into effect last year.
4 games. You are correct.
Games.
Yeah.
So they could slide a guy there. I feel like they're not going to do that with Dickerson.
Yeah.
So let's count Dickerson among the 5 starters. I think, as Fran said yesterday, I think that Drew Kendall might be the next safest guy on the team.
Yeah.
But I ended up going with 11 offensive linemen, and my very last player was an offensive lineman. So I kept Matt Pryor, Darian Kinnard, Miles Hinton.
Oh, I knew it. The second you said 11, I'm like, he snuck Hinton on there.
Oh, I think Hinton's relatively safe on.
Really? I don't have him on.
I kept Brett Toth on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And then my very last player was Trevor Keegan.
So you have somebody off who
I do not have Kendall Lamb on the team.
Yeah, you don't have Kendall Lamb.
Yeah.
Because you have Hinton on, so you've got that tackle depth there.
Well, and I have Kinnard. I think maybe Kinnard is that guy.
Do you really think? See, this is where I start to wonder.
And I think Lamb, like, you could bring back, maybe that's too cute.
I think you got a little cute there, but I do understand the idea of, like, At some point, you're not really talking about who's most deserving to be on the 53. It's who
Correct.
do you think you can get through waivers?
How do you keep the most guys in the building?
Right. So I felt like Hinton, you can get him through waivers. You can get him on the practice.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, because he's got the draft pedigree, is what you're saying.
And I mean, he wasn't perfect in that preseason game, but
yeah, he's had an up and down summer. I get that you like the look of him, and maybe
I think he's been solid.
Yeah, like relative to his competition, I agree with that. I didn't have Hinton on. I did not have Keegan on. I think Keegan is probably the one I disagree with you on even more.
Yeah, I mean, he was my 53rd player.
Yeah,
and I think actually, like, the thing today about Kinnard moving to left guard was a shot at Trevor Keegan, because he's the one who would otherwise play left guard. And to move him to the other side to make room for someone else is a bit of a tell.
I think Keegan's a bridge too far. I would, like, if you prefer Hinton over Kendall Lamb, that's a difference of opinion.
But that's not a preference for, like, who deserves to be on the field. That's just to keep him on the roster.
Right. So I had Lamb on because of that exact reason.
Yeah.
I just think he is a more trustworthy backup going into this season specifically. From a roster building perspective, I understand where you came from on that. The Keegan thing, this is where I would say to myself, I'd rather save that spot for a different position group than have Keegan as the 11th offensive lineman. I don't think you'd have to worry about him going through waivers. I mean, again, he's got draft pedigree, but I don't know. Like, I could see it going either way. The Dylan McMahon experience has kind of scarred me. Where it's like Eagles offensive linemen on the waiver wire will get attention just because of who they are. So,
so you have 10.
Yep,
and
I've got 10.
And you have Lamb instead of Hinton and Keegan.
Correct. So I've got
Toth on.
Kendall Lamb, and Drew Kendall, Darian Kinnard, Matt Pryor as the backups.
And noticeably, neither of us has Kenyon Green on the roster.
No, I think you put it well yesterday that Kenyon Green needed to wake up and be like, today is the day.
Yeah.
And instead, it seems like he
was injured. He was again.
That chapter that reported today that he's week to week. So
Kenyon Green is?
Kenyon Green.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Week to week. So
okay,
it's not looking good for
that's
Kenyon
good.
Green.
He's going to go. He's going IR.
Look at this. I've got Kenyon Green IR stash written in the Excel spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. So you have exactly 25 on offense. I've got 26.
Yeah.
The 3 specialists. Although you said something before the show today, which I found wild. You were considering you had the other long snapper on the roster?
I felt like
Jhon Stone, who they cut this morning.
I was very tempted.
Whose king is this? This is your king?
I was very tempted.
Jhon Stone?
I was very tempted to do the no long snapper chicanery. I'm gonna save it maybe for the final one, because I could see a world. You can't tell me that there's not another long snapper out there. There's no team that's harboring a long snapper.
I don't think they would have bothered doing the replacement of Charlie Hewlett if they wanted to do that. They would have just kept Lovato and then cut Lovato.
Yeah, I don't think Hewlett's looked amazing either. He's had some bad snaps.
Really?
Yeah, he had a high snap. It's probably a week or two ago, but I've not let it go.
Okay.
Clearly. So
listen,
I could see a world.
If you call this, I will give you some credit. Some credit.
Well, I think I lost one year on the no long snapper. I went for it.
I think that is right.
I lost.
That,
yeah. So I'm kind of scarred from that experience, but I could see it, especially, well, if the roster was more
yes,
loaded,
exactly.
Then that's where you start to do the, like, can they get by without the long snapper?
Yeah.
But because you are kind of like squinting to get some guys on here, like you'll hear some of my guys on defense that I snuck on here. I do think that there's probably not a need for it.
Okay. All right, let's go to the edge. Top 2. Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt. I assume you have Josh Uche on.
I do. I'm curious to hear if you went spicy here.
Did you have Azeez Ojulari on your roster?
I had him on. I didn't feel great about it. I think there's a player that deserves to be on over him if you're only discussing training camp performances.
I have him on. I think he's the player who, if they sign a Jadeveon Clowney or something like that, then
that's that spot.
I think that he maybe takes that spot, but I have him on right now.
Okay.
Now, do you just have 4?
I've got Patrick Johnson on.
So do I.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. He's the one who I have in place of Ben Van Sumeren. He was my 52nd player.
He's one of these guys, like, the coaching staff
loves him.
He's been around a while. I think, was it Michael Clay called him the OG today? Like, he's been around since I've been around.
Yep.
That's my Michael Clay impersonation. You got to get the voice a little bit deeper.
A little deeper. Very deep voice. Yeah.
Can I tell you the player who I almost snuck on over Azeez Ojulari?
You really wanted O'Shawn Mathis on?
No.
Oh. Who?
Agbo Okoronkwo.
Okay. Yeah.
He's had a decent summer.
I think so too.
He's intriguing as a player. There's no reason that you wouldn't just put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, I think probably.
But if you were going, I just wanted to give him a shout out because if you're going strictly off of who has looked
I think
better
he has
this
been
summer,
better than Ojulari. Yeah.
Yes, I think he has been better.
Yeah.
So,
I thought about finding a spot for him, but I gave Patrick Johnson's special teams the edge.
Yep, I agree. All right, I think I have a spicy one for the linebackers.
Well, we got to go defensive tackle first, which I actually think is pretty chalk.
Yeah, it is.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojimo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall. Do you consider a sixth for Byron Young or Jacob Sykes, or you just kept the 5?
I think that those guys can make it to the practice squad. I've got those 5.
I agree. All right, linebacker. Nakobe Dean goes on PUP.
Yep.
Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Smile Mondon. Do you have anybody else?
I do.
You do.
Lance Dixon.
I like Lance Dixon.
Yeah, I feel like
okay.
He's got some special teams value.
Lightweight speed guy.
Yeah, I feel like he could be the who is this guy? How did he make the 53? Yep. I feel like, and then Fran will tell us all. I've been telling you about this guy all along.
I think if Lance Dixon makes the team, they're not keeping Ben Van Sumeren. That's my. Why are you keeping both of them?
Who are you putting on over him? Trevor Keegan? I feel like Ben Van Sumeren has more value than Trevor Keegan to the Eagles in 2025 and 2026.
Well, yeah, but it's not about 2025. That's about 2026.
I feel like Ben Van Sumeren is a more valuable addition to the team for the next few years. Like, unless you think that Trevor Keegan is just 1 year away from being a valuable backup, maybe he is the Brett Toth. But like Brett Toth has been on the practice squad before.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Nah, I feel like the value you're gonna get from BVS is definitely more than you would get from Trevor Keegan.
I just mean if you're keeping Lance Dixon, you want him to play special teams, right?
Yeah. But you need those guys. You need more of those big body guys with the new kickoff role. That's like what everybody talks about. It's more like inside zone. Are you tired of hearing the inside zone thing yet?
Yeah.
It's like
tell the people what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to pull the audience behind the curtain here. I feel like every player that talks about the new kickoff rule has to tell us it's like inside zone. It's like a running back play. You know, you got to stick your foot in the ground and get vertical. So like the first 10 times I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And now it's just like, I don't know. It's like, okay, we get it. It's inside zone.
Now, for the people who don't know who Lance Dixon is, he's the undrafted rookie from Toledo by way of Penn State and Pitt, I believe, or West Virginia. So he was a former high recruit and bounced around in college a little bit, ended up at Toledo. The book is like really good, like athletic traits, not the most instinctive player coming out, but I think he's flashed.
Yeah, no, I think he's looked solid. I also considered
Dallas
Gant. Thank you. His name was escaping me.
Dallas Gant.
I was like the tall guy. Yeah,
the long arms.
Yeah, he's had some splashy plays too, but I think that Lance Dixon's probably more of like your prototypical bottom of the depth chart linebacker with special teams value.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now corner is very interesting.
It is.
Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Mac McWilliams, Keely Ringo. Those guys are all on the team, right?
Yeah.
What else did you do?
I put Jakorian Bennett on.
Yeah, I think Jakorian Bennett's on the team. That's 5.
That's it?
That's it.
I think Adoree Jackson this year. Maybe like Devin White obviously made it through the 53, but I think Adoree Jackson's this year's Devin White. Like, he's been with the starters all summer, but he hasn't looked good with the starters. And
I think that's very possible that he doesn't make the team.
If you're going to have Jakorian Bennett and Keely Ringo as your competing for the spot, and now Mac McWilliams entering that spot, all of those guys have upside. All of those guys are younger players that you could theoretically squint and see a finished product a few years down the road. Adoree Jackson is the opposite of that. Adoree Jackson is like, this guy needed to come into training camp and show what he could do this season, this summer. The fact that he has not run away with the job, I think, makes him expendable if you have other positions that you prioritize over that.
I agree with everything you said. I have him on right now, but I also think I might not have him on in a month.
Yeah, it's
weeks, whatever it is.
It's a wide range of outcomes, right? Like I could see him being the week 1 starter.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
Still see it, but I also could see a world where they just say, "We'll take our chances with one of the young guys. We'll hope that we get another." I don't want to say like Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean scenario, but like a guy who progresses over the course of the season and someone that we can trust by week 8, not week 1. Adoree Jackson is the only player in this cornerback competition that you could not see that happening for. Like, because you kind of know he's more of a finished product. You know what you're going to get from him.
Right.
What you're going to get is not high level play. So for me, I think it makes more sense to play one of the young guys. If you're going to get like shaky play,
Yeah.
you might as well get it from somebody who might have it click midway through the year.
I don't disagree with that, but I also, usually coaches will lean on the more experienced guy early in the season. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You also do not have Eli Ricks on the team.
I don't. He's got no special teams value. He's built very specifically to be a cornerback, and even that is like kind of dodgy. He's like the Devontae Smith of the cornerback room without the elite athleticism.
Yeah.
So, I think like I wouldn't be surprised if he made it, but again, like it's hard to justify having your 5th or 6th corner on the roster be somebody who's not going to be able to give you much in that area.
And how about Brandon Johnson?
He's a practice squad guy. I feel like even you've said that. Like you don't think he's
more
like
likely. I don't have him on right now, but he's coming, man. He is taking all the reps with the 2s and the nickel today.
Yeah, I think.
He's
but
a good
again,
player.
Like they're not going to use a roster spot for him.
Probably not.
Yeah.
There's no chance of him ever playing on the outside.
Maybe he'll get a pick 6 in the
this
preseason.
could be like it's like they like to reward somebody who had a great summer.
Yeah, this would be
you're showing it to the roster.
Scenario.
Yeah. I think it's possible.
Maybe. Yeah, I think
he's more likely than Lance Dixon.
Oh, I disagree with that. I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll keep an eye on his special teams value in the next.
Yeah, well, Fran did say he was just okay on special teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe if he flashes there, but yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Hard to get him on.
We have one more position to get to, which we will do after this break. These are some good-looking floors. Must have been Empire Today in here earlier. Empire Today are the flooring experts. Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, home field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals whose focus is flooring every single day, not just some jabroni at the big box store who was on, utilities yesterday or stocking shelves. No. These are flooring experts. This is what they do. They live, they breathe, they crawl around on the floor because all they care about is floors. Empire Today will come to your home too. No guesswork about what it's going to look like when they install these new floors. No. They're going to check out your furniture, check out your space so they can give you the right suggestions and help you through every step of the process. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. You heard that right. A $350 discount with code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details.
The show is also brought to you by Xfinity, now offering a 5-year price guarantee to new customers. Life is unpredictable, but the price of your internet should not be. Get a reliable price for a reliable connection. And with Xfinity, all in means all in. You can get your Wi-Fi equipment and unlimited data included in this offer. We should also tell you about the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Change is always happening. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. But no matter what changes in 5 years, the price of your internet will stay the same. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change.
You like California, EJ?
I like the places in California that I have been. Is the best, the furthest I would go.
Okay. Have you ever been to the Anaheim Ducks at the Honda Center?
I wish I would.
And then the LA Kings at Crypto.com Arena.
Ooh.
Well, you could. If you want to join the PHLY and Philly Sports Trips California takeover with the Flyers group. And not just our Flyers guys, our PHLY Flyers guys, but also Flyers legend Jhon LeClaire from March 17th to the 22nd. The PHLY and Philly Sports Trip Flyers getaway is heading to the West Coast for 2 huge games, the Anaheim Ducks at the Honda Center and then the LA Kings at Crypto.com Arena. Your package includes optional round-trip direct flights from Philly, a 5-night stay at the beautiful Sanborn Santa Monica group tickets to both games, a Flyers watch party, and an exclusive meet and greet with John LeClaire. Plus, the Philly Sports Trips crew will be there to handle every detail so you can just enjoy the sun, the sights, and the hockey. This is the California vacation every Flyers fan dreams of, with a couple wins to top it off. Spots are limited, so book your trip today at allphly.com/events. Okay. Safety. Now, I think you have 4 spots left or 3 spots left. Or 5 spots left.
4 spots left, not counting the specialists.
4 spots left. So, Drew Makuba's on the team. Reed Blankenship's on the team. Is Sidney Brown definitely on the team for you?
Yes.
Do you think there's any chance they trade Sidney Brown? Going through this exercise, is there anybody who you felt like the Eagles, who like, this is a tradable player?
Sidney Brown is a good one. I think that would make some sense just because I feel like safety is like one of the most coach-specific positions.
Yes.
And Sidney Brown, notably,
I think there's a scheme for Sidney Brown somewhere.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
If you told me like that you were going to put that guy in the box, get him close to the line of scrimmage, let him just go see ball, get ball. Yeah, sign me up. Like, that's the type of player that he is. He is a weird fit as a post safety in a Vic Fangio scheme where, you hear so much about those guys being the queens on the chessboard, right? Like the methodical, thoughtful like player on the back end. And Sidney Brown is a lot more like one track mind than that. So not to say that he won't be good in that role, but again, it's just a strange fit at times. Like I felt like his rookie season when he was like that early down nickel, like that was kind of fun for him. And it's not what Vic Fangio is asking him to do. So again, like they run a lot of cover 3 out of those, 2 high shells. So you are going to get Sidney Brown closer to the line of scrimmage just by like the structure of the coverage. But again, he is like maybe not the perfect fit in that role.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So if you told me like you're trading him to like San Francisco or something like that, but it really depends. Like
play the old Hufanga.
Yeah. Cause that is who you think of when you watch him, but I just don't know. It depends on what you're getting back,
right?
How you feel about Makuba as he's starting to get more first team reps. Maybe if you feel confident about it, I could see that making sense.
I've said for like over a year now that I thought the Eagles might trade Eli Ricks for just something.
Yeah.
I still feel that way, just because everybody wants corners, but I don't know that it's happening here for him. Otherwise, you could trade an Ojulari or something like that. Byron Young, but like he was waived last year and claimed by the Eagles. I think these are all like you're trading for just someone else at a different position. Yeah,
you're like doing the Alberto type of trade where it's like my about to get cut player for your about to get cut player.
I think the Eagles just traded
could have like
pick for Alberto. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're right. Sorry, but like that idea is like, let's
Ryan
get this
Bates,
guy.
Eli Harold catastrophe. I will not let this town, this fan base, forget about that trade. Okay, so you have Sidney Brown on. Who was your last one? Is it Tristan McCollum? Is it Maxon Hook? Is it Lewis Seen? Or is it Andre Sam?
I like a Maxon Hook, but I went Tristan McCollum.
Okay. I went Andre Sam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't feel great about that. I just this is one where I gave the edge to special teams.
Yeah,
and I was listening to Fran when he said that Andre Sam was a very good special teams player in the game.
I'm like not interested in him as like a developmental player, but I think McCollum
and Vic likes McCollum. I don't think it's.
I mean, McCollum played over Sidney Brown.
I think McCollum is a very realistic chance to make the team.
Yep.
I also kind of like a Maxon Hook too. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the fourth safety.
I'd be a little surprised, but I do like him. I think he's a practice squad guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't have too many differences, but I think we had 4 maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think Ben Van Sumeren's the one we disagree on the most, and Trevor Keegan.
I'm willing to be wrong there, but why does he need a roster spot? I don't know.
Why does Trevor Keegan need a roster spot?
Because he in theory can develop into a starting offensive lineman.
Yeah, and Ben Van Sumeren could in theory develop into like a very serviceable fullback and special teams contributor.
But they don't ever line up with the fullback.
Yeah, there hasn't been enough of that.
2 plays a game.
Maybe it expands. You never know.
Well, we certainly haven't seen it this summer. Maybe that's their whole big thing.
He got hurt, so that was part of why it kind of tapered off. But yeah,
I don't know. All right. So Julia, EJ and I were coming into the studio today.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's do this chronologically.
Okay.
So, Julia, do you know Bo to be someone that backs into parking spots?
I feel like he would if it was more productive to get out that way.
I'm into a back end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you've given me some flack for the back end before.
Oh no, it's situation dependent. It's completely situation dependent.
I like to back into a parking spot.
Yeah.
On record
Every
as
time.
someone who likes to back in.
Yeah.
Didn't know you to be somebody who backed into a parking spot, but we pulled in at the same
I talked
time.
about this. We have a little like a little Philly alley by our house where I have to back in. So I get a lot of reps.
Like an angled situation.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I like a back end.
Yeah. Well, you did a good job. You didn't hold me up. You didn't.
There's a little sliver of shade in the parking lot. You're trying to back into the
This
shade.
is the stuff you should be telling me about. Like we're coworkers.
You don't have eye. I know you can't smell, and I know that your eyes have been in question.
But listen,
I feel like you can
trade.
see shade.
I
don't need to tell you how to park your car in the summer.
Well, now I'm going to start parking specifically next to you.
Yeah. Well, that shade dwindles. By the time the show's over, it won't be shade anymore.
Yeah.
But
I didn't back in today. I'm trying to.
Yeah, but that's a pull through. It's kind of like it's a middle lot.
Yeah, the pull through is the best option. Always pull through
if you can.
Yeah.
Except not when you're golfing.
Oh yeah, because you need to get to the back of the car.
You want to, yeah.
Some of us can manage even in those situations.
Well, yeah, you can manage. Yeah. So anyway, I back in. I go across the street to pick up my lunch. EJ goes up. It goes up the elevator. I come in about 5 minutes later. Get the elevator. Opens up. There is EJ standing in the elevator. Like, what happened to you?
Oh no!
And you know what he did, Julia? He went to the wrong floor.
Oh no!
But I don't really understand this for you. So we're on the top floor. That shouldn't be that hard to remember.
But if you've never
even beyond that,
the floor before, then you wouldn't know that.
But you didn't even I don't even understand how you then came back down. What happened here?
All right, it's time for my side of this story. So we got in the parking lot at the same time, but I think you were on the phone or something. So
I was, yeah.
The first part of the story is that I awkwardly was like waiting for you to get out of the car, and then you didn't get out, and I was like, oh, let me just see myself out of this situation.
Yeah.
I don't have access to the building yet, so I had to wait.
Corey Cito, EJ has 6 senses, but none of them are sight or smell.
I do wonder if my sight's perfect, so maybe I do have like a compensatory thing going. Okay. Anyway. So the next part about this that was rough is I finally get in the building, and I've never had to select the floor before. I've always been in the elevator with somebody else because there's always someone coming to get me. So I didn't know which floor. So I go.
So you just guessed?
I was like,
Did you go up each one?
I was like, I think it's whatever. I guess one, or I guess a floor. I won't specify which, but I guess a floor.
5.
And it was the wrong floor.
We're on the 7th floor. He guessed 5.
Okay, so I guess 5.
Oh, I guess that's right.
Yeah, that was a good guess, Julia. Lefties, and you just guessed the floor correctly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then when it wasn't 5, I hit 6. But it was going. It went down.
Sorry,
to get me, you didn't hit it in time.
That the elevator goes down, I'm like, I know it's going to be Bo at the bottom of the elevator, because honestly, and maybe listen, this might have been a foul by me if it had actually played out this way. If it wasn't somebody I knew, I would have considered getting off the elevator to avoid the humiliation.
Yeah.
But then the person, if they were going to the 7th floor, would have been stuck on floor 6 because of me. They would have walked in the elevator and seen at 6. So this is literally like,
I think you stay in and you're just like, thing's not working.
No, I would have just owned up to it. This was a nightmare scenario for me. I need to make it clear that this was like the worst case scenario is that like I left you in the parking lot. It goes down to get you. And now I have to admit that I don't know what floor my new office is on.
I feel like now you'll remember.
I mean, yeah, it's like burned into my brain forever. So the second the door opened, I saw you and oh no.
I know. Imagine my surprise when there's EJ.
Well, also a tip is you have to it will light up slightly, but then you have to make sure it's like double lit up. You really have to you'll see the difference.
Yeah.
So if you did that and you went all the way up and someone hit down, you wouldn't actually.
I would just be
the door
standing.
wouldn't open. You would automatically go back down.
Yeah, just standing in the elevator, trapped in there forever. Yeah. Welcome to PHLY, EJ.
Yeah,
this is my true welcome.
We had the stall yesterday, the elevator today. We'll figure out what's interesting about your time in the office tomorrow.
It's something new every day. Yeah. I'm learning some of the I guess some of the traditions. Like, should I be putting the full case of water in the refrigerator or just a couple? Do I respect the people only Some people only want to drink room temperature water.
I guess that's fair. I think you can put in a bunch. Yeah.
I used to hate filling up the refrigerator with water when I was a kid. It was like my number one job.
It was your number one job? Like with bottled water?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and taking out the bathroom trash.
Okay.
The fun jobs.
Okay. EJ was also nice enough to bring Dunkin' Donuts in yesterday. Or I guess we should just say donuts. Still a few out there.
Yeah, do you go like the day old donut?
I know someone that did.
Is it you?
You can name names.
No. No, I can't eat that.
I think you can leave. I mean,
it's in a box.
I mean, you brought him in around like 1 yesterday, so we're not quite. We're now at 24 hours, but earlier today, I mean, like, I think I probably wouldn't if I have seen them come the 24 hours for, and I'm like actually aware, then I probably wouldn't. But whereas if I came in and I intellectually knew, oh, Jamie says he got one, and I intellectually knew, but didn't actually see that they were a day old, I might be more willing to do it.
But like, come on, it's not like they're baking those things like the morning that you get them.
Of course.
Yeah, so they probably are multiple days old and they keep. So
yeah,
I'm not closed off to the idea. I've been considering it.
What's your donut stack rank?
Stork ranking?
Stork rank.
I probably go the vanilla cream, but like not the Boston cream. You know what I mean? Like it's like vanilla frosting in there, not Boston cream.
Okay.
Boston cream's a little custardy for me.
Yeah.
The second one would be double chocolate. Like it's chocolate glaze with the chocolate icing on top. It's a strong one.
It's a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, but it's like you're eating a donut. Like, come on. And then third, maybe not from the place we got them, but traditional glazed.
I like a traditional glazed. Yeah.
It's a spot.
I think that's fair. All right. What are you looking forward to in the joint practices? What will be different to you than just watching guys as we've seen them for the past 3 weeks?
I think the number one thing is going to be the cornerbacks. Like,
I agree.
I need to see these guys against like the wide receiver 2 tier of receivers, especially with Mac McWilliams maybe getting some reps in there now. So I think corners is number one. The edge group, I've got legitimate questions about it. Like, I feel like we talk about it a lot, but it's like, what are the things that are going to impact the Eagles' ability to win games, win big games? Like the edge group not being able to generate a pass rush is high on that list. So seeing those guys, definitely something I want to keep an eye on. I think in general, I want to see how the offense just looks schematically. I know we can like overstate how it looks in a given practice, but in a joint practice scenario, I feel like you might see more of what like the ideal vision for the offense, just because it is a little bit more of a competitive setting, and it's not scripted. We know that like Kevin Patullo and Vic Fangio aren't necessarily going over everything together, but again, in a competitive move the ball scenario against a different team, this is the best glimpse we're really going to get of the starting offense and what it might look like during the regular season.
I think that's fair. I'm looking forward to the Myles Garrett Jordan Mailata rematch, which was a big deal 2 years ago. Remember Landon Dickerson just pancaking a guy? That was very fun. But I think the corners is probably the big thing, and just the secondary in general. And on offense, I mean, I think you make good points about like what we're like the structure of the offense, but like individually, I'm more interested in the depth guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just there's not many guys on offense that have to prove themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think,
although I think you know what, Steen, who I think has looked better the second half of camp than the first half of camp.
A great defensive tackle group.
Well, that's what I mean. And it's like, okay, so Ojimo gets him every now and then. Like, how does he look against somebody different? I think that's a fair one.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, for mostly on offense, I feel like the depth guys will be like, does Darius Cooper continue to look like the training camp stud that he has been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus Kenny Pickett, although isn't he injured?
I am not sure.
Pickett, Flacco. Yeah, are you interested in Shedeur?
I mean, like, as like a fan of the NFL, I guess, like I think he's got a fun story, but in terms of like, am I actually like looking to see if this guy's going to be awesome? Like, no, it'll be low on my list just because I'll be more focused on like how Brandon Johnson looks.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Talking my language. Speaking of my language, we are going to get to the super chats in Bovertime. There it is. Beautiful. Nicely done, Julia. Let's check out these super chats. Jason with a J. I went on a date with a literature professor, Flex, who I told I only listened to audiobooks anymore. Her response, that counts as reading.
I mean,
the literature professor.
Can't argue with that.
Tell us how the rest of the date went, Jason.
Maybe don't tell us that.
JG Hater says, welcome, EJ. If you had the choice between Jhoan Duran and
Jhon Duran and Jhoan Duran.
Is this an Aston Villa?
This is an Aston Villa question.
Okay. Jhon Duran and Jhoan Duran as an IPP roster exemption. Which athlete would you choose and at what position?
The answer is Jhon Duran, first and foremost. I mean, I know the Philadelphia fans are not familiar with this guy. He is awesome. He is like an agent of chaos, unlike any Philadelphia athlete we have ever seen.
Okay. What position?
I would probably play him as like honestly.
Where does he play for Villa?
He does not play for Villa anymore.
Oh, okay.
He is on his third team in the last 12 months because he is chaotic.
Okay.
I'd probably put him at safety. Now he's probably small.
You just described Sidney Brown.
Yeah, no, but like this guy, yeah, he is just as likely to get into a massive fight.
Okay.
But he's not big enough to play anywhere else. Like that's the thing about these soccer players. They're not big guys. But yeah, it's always Jhon Duran. I feel like he is one of my favorite athletes in general across all sports. And yeah, I don't know if he'd be good at American football, but he'd figure it out. He's a good athlete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Cottrell. Congrats, EJ. Excited for a familiar face. Help us cope. Cool. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Show 2.
Are you disappointed we didn't have more arguments on the 53?
No, because I mean, the truth is that, 45 of them are pretty set.
Yeah,
then,
I would say.
There's not a ton of wiggle room. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to you losing.
Oh, listen, if I am back-to-back king of the beats.
Now it's all, that this means that you are also in charge of running the contest.
Oh no, I did not realize
that. Oh yeah, it's incumbent upon the champion to run it. And to take all and to grade it. Yeah.
You have been learning a lot about me in a short period of time, and I'm sure you've learned.
Well, yeah, I can see that your spreadsheet game is very weak.
Yeah, my organization skills are very low on the list of things that I would write home about. So maybe I'll ask for your help on that one. New co-host, you gotta take care of me.
This is ridiculous. This is your king. You gotta handhold him through the process. You just won a contest that you like a sweepstakes. No offense to the Bryce Wild sweepstakes, but and the what was the couple from yesterday? I forget.
I can't remember the name.
Tom Smith.
No, that wasn't the couple.
No, that wasn't the couple.
That was my guy, Tom Smith.
Tom
Shout
Smith.
out Tom.
We didn't hear from any of those people, unfortunately. Anyway,
you're gonna have to.
I look forward to Fran is in the chat. Tomorrow will be a good use of the three of us because we're going to get a lot of pairs of eyes to divide and conquer. See all the reps that we're going to be able to see tomorrow.
Love that.
So that'll be fun. Have some good write-ups probably on allphly.com about it all, which you can only read if you're a diehard, and you can do that now if you sign up. $36 for the whole year training camp offer. Make it happen. Okay. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, EJ. Thank you, sickos. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.